In the previous video, we loaded some data from a TXT file into our MySQL table. Now let's take a look at the records that we loaded by doing select star from lessons, and these last three records are the ones that we loaded from a TXT file. Now we want to create a CSV file called data.csv and put some records in it and load them into the table, this time instead of the TXT file. To do that, I go to a separated terminal window and use the Vim text editor. You can use any type of text editor, it doesn't matter. And I create a file called data.csv right inside my home directory and start editing it. The first column name is ID, and this time instead of pressing tab, we need to separate the fields by comma. So I type comma and then title. And this is the structure of the table, right? So I can press enter to go to the next lines and put some records here that will be loaded into our table. The next ID after the fourth one will be 5 and separated by comma. The next title, let's call the next title #5 loading data from TXT. I press enter and type 6 as the ID of the next record, and as the title I type loading data from CSV. These two records are the ones that will be loaded. I will ignore the first row when I'm executing the command on the SQL command line, so you can see how we can do this. For now, let's just save this text CSV file here and get back to our MySQL command line, and the command to load data from a CSV file into our table will be something like this. Load data. We add a local keyword here to load a file outside the MySQL directory, and then in file, then the full path to the file, that will be home, Arashtad, and data.csv. If you're curious about the path that I found it here, that will be the directory that I've created. The CSV file is already home/Arashtad. And if I do a cat home Arashtad data.csv, we will see that this file exists and the content is loaded. So I put the full path to the CSV file here, and after that I can type into table lessons and then fields terminated by commas, since we have separated the fields by comma here, and then lines terminated by \n, that stands for line break. Also, we had an extra row here that is representing the name of the tables, and we want to ignore this first line, so only the actual records are loaded into our table. So to do that, we can type ignore one rows. This is the command that we will be executing, and as you see, the records are added to our table. If we do a select star from lessons again, you will see that the new records 5 and 6 are loaded from our CSV file. This is the way that we can load data from a CSV into our MySQL table.